Mark Jenkinson is the Conservative MP for Workington. Mark Jenkinson, good morning to you. The government has gone from send your kids to school yesterday morning to this morning, stay at home. I mean, could our listeners be forgiven for thinking that the government has lost total control of this crisis?
I think it would be helpful if commentators stopped trying to make this such a binary decision, if I'm honest. But big decisions to take and ones that I don't think any Prime Minister wants to take, certainly none of us as MPs want to see taken. But we are where we are, and those decisions need to be taken. Obviously, the data has been changed on a daily basis and is monitored on a daily basis. Cabinet met yesterday. Cumbria obviously met yesterday, and then we see Nicola come out first out the traps as she normally is, followed by the announcement last night for England.
But you say things are changing on a daily basis. Cases, hospital admissions, deaths, they've been rising for weeks in Cumbria and elsewhere, and many believe this, again, is a late decision from the government that will ultimately cost lives.
But this is what I'm saying about making it a binary decision, and commentators like yourself consistently try and make this a binary decision. What we don't
these are facts, though.
What we don't take into account quite often, people like yourself, is the non-COVID cost of lockdown. Lockdown costs lives. Not locking down costs lives. There is a political decision to make at which point you make that decision. And that is the simple fact. This lockdown will cost lives. It will cost children's futures. It has a huge impact on the economy, which has implications for healthcare going forward. For I wouldn't like to think how long.
So are you saying we shouldn't be locking down then?
I'm not saying we shouldn't be locking down at all. I said these are very difficult decisions to balance. There are costs to locking down, and there are costs to not locking down, both healthcare and economy. And the economy has longer-term effects on healthcare as well. So what we need to do is stop this binary, the idea that it is some binary decision, and if we'd locked down last week, everything would be fine, or if we'd locked down in March and stayed locked down, everything would be fine, because that's simply not the case.
But isn't it the case, though, that Boris Johnson, and some would say to his credit, is an optimist? He's someone who doesn't want to curtail freedoms until he has to. All of this goes against everything he believes in, but, and I put it to you again, he was just too slow on this.
There are decisions, as I've just said to you, this is not a binary decision. Not locking down costs lives, risks overwhelming the NHS. Locking down costs lives in many other ways, and that's we don't talk about it enough. I don't think that it's not as simple as Captain Hindsight would like us to think, that if we'd locked down last week or we'd locked down in March and stayed locked down forever, everything would be rosy, because you know yourself, Mike, that's simply not the case.
West Cumbria's main hospital, Carlisle's as well, they've declared the most serious alert as COVID admissions soar. Can you say to the ICU nurses, the doctors, the care home workers, the teachers, the grieving relatives in Cumbria listening to this programme this morning, that the government has handled this pandemic well, and the decisions they've made have saved lives, have protected the NHS?
I'll tell you what I'll say to them. I'll say to them that people like Mike Zeller, I don't think, do them any favours trivialising the impact of this virus, the multiple impacts.
These are facts. I am not trivialising anything.
That's exactly what you are doing. You're trivialising huge, absolutely ginormous political decisions, balancing impacts of COVID, impact on our NHS, impact on those nurses and staff, and the non-COVID impact. The Trust are still dealing with the fallout from March's lockdown in things like child development. That is also a fact. These are things that they're going to deal with for months and years to come, and that is last March's lockdown. We've only exacerbated that with other lockdowns and measures that we've taken. There are huge mental health implications. You know, it is not a binary decision. I think we need to move away from this idea that it is.
We are not trivialising this. We are dealing with facts, and we are dealing with the issues which people listening to this programme this morning are concerned about.
There are many issues that many people are concerned about. They are COVID and non-COVID, and we need to take them all into account. We need to prevent our NHS from being overwhelmed, which is exactly what this does. But at the same time, we have to take into account the serious life and mental health impacts that locking down have on society.
It sounds from what you're saying this morning that you're not keen on this lockdown. Parliament has been recalled for a vote on this tomorrow. Which way will you vote?
Well, I'm currently seeking constituents' views on my website through a survey, but I mean, I don't think there's any doubt that I'll be supporting these restrictions tomorrow. I don't feel that the PM has little other choice right now than to do this. And yeah, I mean, it goes against every fibre of my being as it does the PM's. Of course it does, restricting people's lives. People have restricted their lives for the last 12 months, followed guidance, followed rules, followed laws. And here we are again with this new variant. But that's a simple fact of the matter. The virus has mutated. There is a new variant. It's been known to us a matter of weeks. We've been tracking that new variant. We've seen the impact. We've seen the impact in Cumbria. The facts change, and here we are again.
Mark Jenkinson, Conservative MP for Workington. Thank you.